Digibro here. I'm going to tell you guys about audio mixing in analytical videos. I kind of brought this up in this big fucking rant I went on where I shat on everybody in the anime community, and I talked a lot about voiceover and mixing work in anime videos, and this extends to all analysis videos that I think a lot of people just don't really think that hard about their audio mixing or don't understand how to do it, and maybe don't know how to get the sound they're going for. And I thought about this again because someone had linked me this channel called Crispies here, which is very obviously trying to be Captain Christian. The style of editing, the style of voiceover, the style of music and everything is clearly trying to be him. But I want you to listen a little bit to this Crispies video that I was just watching about Daft Punk.
Unlike other artists, their use of auto-tune isn't out of necessity, it's a stylistic choice. Daft Punk operates with a different process. While most artists develop the catchy...
Now I want you to listen to Captain Christian himself talking about Frank Ocean.
Seem to always come back to, regardless of my mood, be it relaxed or agitated, is Frank Ocean's Blonde. There's a cinematic quality.
Now, the difference between these two is not the microphone quality. I don't even think Captain Christian has a particularly great microphone. The difference here is in mixing. And it's not that Captain Christian's done anything particularly special. It's something all of you could do, actually. I'm going to show you how right now, because I'm pretty sure all he's done, ignore all these extra windows I've got open, he's got, I'll show you a perfect example. So here's me talking about Captain Christian. Holy shit, my microphone recording volume is loud. I didn't realize how high it was right now. But this helps because having your volume turned up kind of loud and being closer to the microphone definitely makes your voice sound louder and more full, but so that sounds pretty typical. Now I have a pretty nice microphone, so that sounds pretty great all on its own. But I'm going to run a compressor on it, and what that does is brings all the lows up and the highs down and makes the whole sound fuller. So it sounds like this. So here's me talking about Captain Christian. Holy shit, my microphone recording volume is loud. I didn't realize. Now, it's not that huge a difference because I'm so goddamn close to the microphone. But the main difference that it makes is that the sound feels more thick. And what this means is that it's also more audible. It's easier to play over music. So I'm going to let you guys hear what it sounds like when I play my voice uncompressed over this song by the band Toe, which sounds like this. And I'll have my uncompressed voice and then my compressed voice. I'm going to mute my microphone so it doesn't echo as badly as it probably has been this whole time. This is Tsuneo Imahori. He made a bunch of cool soundtracks for a bunch of cool shit. This is Tsuneo Imahori. He made a bunch of cool soundtracks for a bunch of cool shit. You notice how in the second example, the music is less capable of overpowering me. And I had the music pretty loud in the mix. Ordinarily, I'd probably have it a little bit lower if I was even using music. But because the sound is so thick and full, it allows my voice to sort of overpower all the sound in the backing track. And this is exactly the difference between Captain Christian's audio and that of Crispies. Now, if I want to, I can take this one step further and do what I did in my composer videos, such as the Tsuneo Imahori one. Because in those videos, I wasn't going for narration over music. I was going for music. I wanted it to sound like a radio DJ who is just talking over a song that you're supposed to be able to enjoy at its full capacity, meaning that I didn't turn it down that much. I wanted the song to be fully audible, but for you to still be able to make out what I'm saying over the top of it. And that's why I used something called Soundgoodizer, which I apply using this program called FL Studio. It's kind of complicated to learn, and it looks like hell, but all I've done is thrown in a random song that I had on my computer and that audio that I was just playing earlier with the compression. Here's what it sounds like without me putting on the Soundgoodizer. This is Tsuneo Imahori. He made a bunch of cool soundtracks for a bunch of cool shit. Now, that actually sounds cleaner than it should without me even doing anything because of the fact that in its mixer, FL Studio automatically puts on this thing called Fruity Limiter, which makes it so that it basically just limits any of the sounds from being too much louder than one another. It's kind of like it's running compression on the entire song or whatever's in here. So Fruity Limiter is already doing half the work for me. But if I want to make my vocals even louder, I can select the file and put it on FX Track 1. Then on FX Track 1, select an effect such as the Sound Goodizer, and you'll hear the difference in a second. This is Tsuneo Imahori. He made a bunch of cool soundtracks for a bunch of cool shit. This is Tsuneo Imahori. He made a bunch of cool soundtracks for a bunch of cool shit. This is Tsuneo Imahori. He made a bunch of cool soundtracks for a bunch of cool shit. So yeah, you can hear there how my voice is like easily audible over the mix. Now, obviously, that sound is kind of off-putting. It's so loud and weird and robotic. It doesn't sound like the natural voice of someone talking at all. But that's why it's only used for me in circumstances where there's very little dialogue in the video and you're mostly supposed to be hearing the music. It's just so that it cuts through over music that I don't want to turn down. But even compression alone does such a huge amount of work in making you audible over background music. Now, personally, I think that when I'm watching an analysis video, if the background music is too quiet, then it's just distracting because I can't really hear it and I'm kind of wondering what's going on and it's not really entertaining. And if it's too loud, then it overpowers the delivery. Now, in videos like mine, where I cut out every breath, I cut out all the downtime, so it's just this constant stream of me talking, then the compression really wears on you. And this is especially true if you're trying to make a longer video. Like, I've said before that watching someone like Chaseface, who has really great audio mixing and does a lot to his voice, he sounds like a voice actor, but because of the nature of the videos, that they're like 30 minutes long, and there's, you know, music and compressed voice the whole time, it eventually wears on me. I don't know if that's true for everybody, but for me, it becomes exhausting. And so, I really see it as, if you're going to do compression, you should do it with a video that has a lot more breaths, where you talk a bit more slowly, where there's less frenetic action and crazy loud things going on. For instance, Nerdwriter makes pretty good use of compression because I don't even think he scripts his videos, at least the way he's talking sounds very natural, and you get this very taking its time, breathy, letting the music drink in. I mean, Captain Christian's another good example. Neither one of them is hitting you with constant dialogue. They're really spacing out and pacing the video. I don't personally like making that kind of video as much because I'm less concerned with the audio-visual experience. I'm more concerned with making a whole bunch of points in my video. I try to be really information-dense as opposed to making a video that is entertaining on its own but maybe has less to say, which is how I describe any of those people's videos. But I'm just putting all this out there because I hear so many videos that I think could sound better. It's not that you need a better microphone. When you hear me, if you listen to my audio and think this doesn't sound as good as X other guy, it's probably not because they have a better mic than me. There's not a lot of YouTubers with a $300 mic hooked up to a $150 audio interface like I have, unless they're a voice actor. Most of them are probably using either a Blue Yeti for about $100 or something just a step up from that, you know? But there's so much you can do just through manipulating audio, and so much you can think about just in terms of what is my video? What am I going for? Am I trying to make an information-dense video? Am I trying to make an entertainment video? If you're trying to bank on entertainment and making your video flashy, and it's supposed to be based on high editing content and making things look nice, then you need to have good audio, because it will destroy the rest of the video if you don't. No matter how flashy your visuals are, no matter how great of music you put in, if your voice sounds like shit, either because you don't know how to make yourself sound good in the way that you talk, or because you aren't mixing it very well, it destroys the whole illusion. It just becomes, I can't really hear him, or I wish he wasn't screaming at me, or why does his voice sound like that when he's playing this super smooth jazz music in the background, as opposed to complementing the nature of the video. So yeah, I just wish everybody would put more thought into that. I've given you some tips on how to do it. Just think about your audio, unless you're just trying to make informational points, in which case it's a lot more forgivable, to me at least, if your audio is not that great, if you're just saying a lot of interesting stuff and you're not too worried about the presentation. But please, if you're using a headset microphone or some cheap thing and you're not compressing it, don't put fucking music in there because I won't be able to understand what you're saying.